Yeah.
Rolling.
Okay, so figure 5 says completing the sleeve, and it says to label the elbow level S and extend line R 1/4 of an inch. So we have elbow level line that was going through D prime. They want us to label that S, which my pencil's all the way over here. So they want us to label that S, and then the other end, they're gonna call that R, and they want that to go 1/4 of an inch past where the E to O line intersects with that elbow level line. So I'm just gonna make a mark. And then they want us to draw R to T. And if you look at figure 5, you can see they're putting a dart in the sleeve. And the reason for that is that your arm, like when it hangs at your side, it kind of bends forward. And so the elbow dart helps to bend the sleeve forward, like your arm hangs naturally in a little angle. So that's what that's doing. We got rid of that in most sleeves by adding more E's, and like on jackets we use a 2-piece sleeve, and the 2 pieces are shaped so that the dart wedge is cut out and the sleeve hangs at an angle. So we don't see this dart much in sleeves anymore, but this is the basic block, and it's supposed to fit in a particular way. And so we're going to stick this dart in here now, and then we get to manipulate it out later. So R to T, they want it to be 1/2 of R to D, 2. So we're going to measure from this little 1/4 inch past our E to O line along the SD prime line. So from R, we're going to measure to the center of the sleeve where D prime is. And we're going to take that measurement and divide it in half. Or we could do it my usual way, right? And just fold your sleeve in half. And put the R on top of the D prime at the center of the sleeve, make a crease. And that gives you your mark that we're calling again T. So that'll be T. So we can do R is 1/4 of an inch past E to O on S, and then T equals 1/2 R to D. Okay, so R to U is 1 inch mark. So what they want us to do is put your ruler on R. I'm putting my ruler is 2 inches wide, so I put the middle of my ruler on R, and then mark 1 inch down. And I made a big fat mark because I don't know what target I'm trying to hit yet because they haven't told me. So now it says T to U is equal to R to T. So I'm going to measure R to T, and for me I get 2 7/8. So I'm going to pivot. I'm leaving 2 7/8 on T, and I'm pointing it towards that 1 inch mark that I made. And then I'm going to draw a line, and then I'm going to make sure that I really make a mark so that I know where that is. 2 7/8. Because you know how your lines get sloppy. And we're calling that U. So T to U equals R to T. So those are the 2 legs of our dart. And then we have O to V. So now that we're gonna close this dart, we're gonna shut it. So we need to lengthen this side of the sleeve. So when we shut this dart and we go to sew the 2 sides of the underarm of the sleeve together, that they're the same length. So what we are taking away here, we have to add back down here. So it says O to V is 3/4 of an inch mark. O to V, O to V, so we're going down and in. Oh, in. We're going in 3/4 of an inch. Okay. So along the O to B or P line, we're going to make a mark 3/4 of an inch in along that line so that we have a target to hit. And we're going to come down from U and pass through that mark that we just made that we're calling what again? We're calling it V. And then we're going to draw a line from U through V that equals S to P, and we're going to call the end of that line W. So we come back to the other side of the sleeve. S is right here at elbow level, and we're going to measure to the wrist level, so that distance which for me is 8 and 7/8. So I'm putting that mark on U, aiming it at V. It's going past V. I'm going to draw that line. And then I'm going to measure 8 and 7/8 along that line. And then I'm going to make a mark so I really know where W is. So that's that. And now W to X, which is going to be the actual circumference of the wrist. So W to X equals O to B. Adjust the fitting if necessary. So once we try it on, you have to make sure that the widest part of the hand is going to fit through that opening and that it's not too wide, but that it fits. And usually it does. That's not something we generally have to fix. This formula is pretty decent. So we'll measure from O to P, and then we'll put our ruler on W and aim it towards P, but it's going to extend past P, but it's still going to hit that O to P line. And we'll call that, what are we calling it? X. So I'm measuring O to P, which was, what? It looks like it's 8 3/4. So I'll go from W, I'll go towards P, 8 3/4. It'll hit that P line. Make a mark so I know where that ends. That'll be my X. Now we have to connect to X, yeah? Draw a line ending at wrist level. Draw a slightly curved line from X to S to F. So I need my curve sort of here somewhere. I know I grabbed it and used it at some point. So I know
didn't
it's here.
do it. There's no
It's
evidence.
here.
I think it's underneath the,
It doesn't feel like it's underneath that.
it's right, sort of
see it?
Oh, hey.
Yay! Ah, you were looking through the paper. Excellent.
Oh, sorry, what?
Thank you. I know, they feel like swords. Okay, so,
I would never use it as such.
of course not. So I'm going to turn it this direction. So the flat part is aiming up towards the sleeve cap, and the curved part is aiming down towards X. And I want to make a really, really gentle curve. And so I will do that. So I'm going to start at S and aim towards X. And so there should be like no angle, like it just blends right in from straight line down to X. And okay, so sleeves usually have notches. There's one notch in the front and 2 notches in the back. So they have us use our GHK marks and our NML marks to figure out where our notches are. And so it says mark a 1/2 inch up from G for the back. So a 1/2 inch up from G. and then G is a notch, and a 1/2 inch up from G is a notch. So I'm just gonna make those, like put little cross marks on them. So, and I'll put a little B there, notches. And then for the front notches, it says mark 1 notch a 1/2 inch above N. So I'll go to N, I'll measure a 1/2 inch up, I'll make a mark. I'll put an arrow at it that says notch. Our next step is to walk it. Do we want to make that a different video?